and I am coming to you with some information about Aladin. Aladin appears to have spilled all the tea. Yes, he has. So we are going to do a segment of Say It Isn't So, Auntie. Say It Isn't So. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for joining the family. And to all of my nieces and nephews who have been here with your auntie for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. According to starcasm.net, I'm going to be having my glasses on. So, according to starcasm.net, Aladin has spilled all the tea on his boo. Okay. Now, I'm going to be sharing the screen because I'm going to be bringing up the Starcasm website for you all to see, and we're going to go through this story together. Okay. So let me get started with that. I'm hoping that everybody had a great day today. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate your continued support with your auntie, like I really, really do. Okay. So I now have an article, okay, that is from starcasm.net. As you can see from this picture, did a review on yesterday, okay, and a lot of people um, did not agree with a lot of things that I said. Some people thought that I was agreeing with Aladin, and that basically I was taking his side in the matter. And I did not feel like I was taking Aladin's side. I felt like I needed to explain some things. Okay, I needed to explain some things. So we're going to go through this particular article, and we're going to look at what is being said on starcasm.net as it relates to this couple. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go back on this. I'm going to give you all the header about what sarcasm is saying up in this mofo. Okay. We're going to share the screen, and we're just going to talk about this just a taste. So once I get this together, y'all, I want you all to see what the article is actually saying, okay? Now, one thing I don't like about sarcasm and about some of these internet blog sites is they have so many ads. They have a whole bunch of pop-up ads and stuff like that. So I'm just waiting for it to cycle through. While I'm waiting for it to cycle through, I'm going to read to you all something that I got off of Instagram today. And I thought that it was noteworthy. Now, the individual who shared the information that Aladin had on Instagram said that he shared this information with her in her DMs, her or him. I'm not sure whether or not it's a male or whether or not it's a, okay, that runs the site. I believe it's a woman that runs the site, and I can't for some reason even remember what site I got it off of. So I'm going to run out here real quick. We're going to take a little quick run out Instagram. All right. Now I had this my nephews and Mary and everybody else send me this later on, and we're going to be talking about Nicole's dad, who appears to have been arrested for, acting, just crazy as a mofo. All right. These people, unfortunately, when they put their lives out in the street, okay, they get eaten up. All right. And so I'm going to go and pull up this article, this quote, or this confession from Aladin. Sitting here waiting for this thing to populate. Okay. One thing about it is slow because, of course, they got a whole lot of pop up ads and all of that kind of stuff. So Aladin took to Instagram, and let me see if I can give credit to the Instagrammer. I always like to do that. Let's see, because I took a snapshot of it. Oh boy, took a snapshot of it, y'all. Hold on, bear with me. Somebody dropped it down into my box, so I want to make sure that I give credit. I always like to give credit to the Instagrammers who bring us this tea because we all, of course, you all know, we work in partnership with one another and bringing you, making sure that you got the tea. Now, this, I'm going to show this to you all. This is actually coming from his site, and this is how it came up today. I want you all to see this picture if I can. I wanted to show it to you another way, but we'll probably go out and visit his site out there on Instagram so that we can look at it together. Now, y'all look at this picture of Laura. Laura has never looked so good, okay? But I'm going to read to you all what Aladin said and what he shared with us out there on the Instagram today. He says of the following, okay? I'm going to blow it up so I can read it, all right? He says, I was catfished, plain and simple. When Laura and I met online, she shared photos that portrayed her to be much younger than she is. Her photos, as I discovered later, were highly, okay, highly edited. Even she admitted to this during taping, but no one paid any attention to it. She told me she was 40 years old, and I believed her. I did not even know she was using fake hair extensions, etc. When we met in person, I was surprised, but I already had feelings for the person I thought she was. We had already decided to get married, even married before even meeting. How else would she have had all documents necessary during this trip to get the marriage registered? Now, as we all know, she said that Laura indicated that when she met Aladin, okay, she married him 9 days after. I think it was 9 days or something like that. It was some crazy ass number. And so Aladin is saying that this was all pre planned, that she knew that when she came to Tunisia or Qatar or wherever it was when she originally met him, they had already planned to get married. So all of the stuff was already in the makings. Now, I absolutely can believe what he is saying because it just absolutely simply makes sense. Now, we'd watch Avery as she flew over, to be with her man. And she and her mother allegedly went to the courthouse and went to the rabbi, the sheik, or whoever it was. They went there and they allegedly got the paperwork done. But even now, it makes me question whether or not that paperwork was done, because how can the mother and Avery file for a marriage certificate in such a short time period? But we went on with the story. We didn't question it. And a lot of things we don't question. Sometimes it's the obvious thing that's sitting in our face that we don't pay attention to. And I think it's because it is obvious. It's just sitting right there. And we don't see it. Okay. So Aladin is as we saw on the tell all was, really trying to defend himself. He had a lot of people who were coming against him and saying, that he was rude and nasty. But I think that when everybody gets to their threshold of bullcrap and and they've met their tolerance threshold, you will have even the nicest person to flip on your ass. See, if you push a dog up against a wall, okay, it's going to fight. Now, it may retreat for a while, but when you have it cornered in a wall, it's not going to retreat anymore. Do I believe that Aladin has some problems? Do I believe that he could possibly be controlling? Absolutely, I do. Because his religion and his tradition, his culture embraces that from my understanding. Now, I could absolutely be wrong. I could be following under some stereotype. But all the people that I have met in my life um, have indicated that women are not treated equally there. The man is in charge. We saw them in the car when they first met one another. And he was telling her, what she could do. The same thing with Zaid. These are certain things. There's certain behaviors that are acceptable here in America that are not accepted abroad. Where I can wear my sweater out like this. Let me show y'all my sweater, okay? Let me make sure that I'm covered up a little bit, okay? Because it's like really cute and it's hot and it's sexy. But I'm just doing it as an example. So where I can wear my sweater like this, okay, with the click showing, okay, the girls is up and they ride, they're they're out. It's not acceptable in another country. It just is what it is. Even when Jenny was in India, Smith told her multiple times that she was in danger by just going out at night. See, I go and take a TJ Maxx run at 9 o'clock at night and think nothing of it. I don't think anything about covering myself up and all that kind of stuff. And so for him, he felt disrespected because he had told her, in my opinion, multiple times about what she should and could not do. And we saw her over and over and over again disregard simple instructions, just simple rules. Okay. And so when people, feel like, okay, well, Auntie, you took his side. I didn't take his side. I simply understood him. And now this has come out and I'm happy that it did. So I'm going to try to go back and see if I can screen share. Let's see if this thing is populated first. Because one thing about sarcasm is that, I mean, you can't. You can't. So I'm going to bring this up on the screen so that you all can see this article that is on sarcasm.net. And we're going to talk about it. As soon as it, populates, and let's see, come on, populate. Let's do what we got to do out here now in these streets, these YouTube streets. Okay, that's what we got to do. I love technology when it works. When it's slow and lagging, I don't like technology. Okay, I absolutely don't like it. So I'm going to bring it up on my phone because when I bring it up on my phone, it makes it easier. So the article says, okay, the other way Aladin says Laura catfished him. has a drinking problem, was kicked out of the US, and more. So as you can see, this article is on sarcasm.net. And so I just wanted to make sure that we gave on this, okay? So I'm going to now start reading to you and let you know exactly what it is saying. It says on the 90 Day Fiance, the other way, couples tell all special, Aladin had difficulty arguing his side of things as far as why his relationship with wife Laura fell apart. In addition to the language barrier, those cast members in person at the taping quickly took Laura's side and teamed up on him. And we saw that, okay? We witnessed that. We saw it, whether or not you agree with it or not, it's neither here nor there. We saw what we saw, okay? So, surprisingly, Aladin, biggest ally on the special, turned out to be Laura's son, Liam, who couldn't stop laughing hysterically at his mother even while she was crying, despite Liam being very outspoken in his dislike for Aladin. His mockingly gleeful laughter and comments about his mother's immaturity did a much better job of making a case against Laura than Aladin's eerie-inducing story about Laura going to get a cup of coffee without letting him know. As a result, Aladin seemed to be caught like a deer in headlights. His frustration, combined with the cultural barrier and the language barrier, resulted in Aladin digging his hole deeper and deeper. Earlier today, Aladin attempted to get out of the hole he was and in as far as public perception by sharing a series of lengthy truth bomb posts on Instagram explaining his side of why he and Laura did not work out. It seems clear that Aladin enlisted the help of an English translator as he makes several shocking revelations. Here is a bullet point summary of some of Aladin's major claims, followed by his posts in their entirety. Laura catfished Aladin initially with altered images and claimed she was just 40 years old. Laura has a drinking problem. Aladin never had any intention of moving to the United States. He says he was well aware that Laura was not a U.S. citizen and that she was actually not allowed back in the country. There were plans for the couple to relocate to Laura's home country and Canada. Aladin says he gave Laura money for the visa sponsorship, but she lied and spent the money on other things. While they were together, Laura paid for 2 months of rent while Aladin paid for 4 months. He also picked up the tab for their wedding travels and more. Laura was careless with money and liked to stay in hotels, buy expensive drinks, etc. Laura stating that her pension was cut is confusing. She allegedly told Aladin she retired from an automotive store 5 years before, but none of that really makes sense. I was catfish, plain and simple. When Laura and I met online, she shared photos that portray her to be much younger than she is. Her photos, as I discovered later, were highly edited. Even she admitted to this during taping, but no one paid any attention to it. She told me she was 40 years old and I believed her. I did not even know she was using fake hair extensions, etc. When we met in person, I was surprised, but I already had feelings for the person I thought she was. We had already decided to get married before even meeting. How else would she have had all documents necessary during this trip to get the marriage registered? She wanted to stay the story about me proposing after a few days in a cafe because she thought it would make our storyline more interesting. Now, A. Hamilton says, wah, wah, wah. You went along with it for the chat. All of them did. Every last one of them went along with it for the chat and for another, and for a different way of life. I've been looking at this show long enough, and I'm sure that many of you all have as well, have been looking at this show long enough to know that all of these mofos have motives. They all have an agenda and a reason for doing what they are doing. Just it's as simple as that. And so he said that he already had feelings for Laura. He didn't know whether or not, oh gosh, it looks like there was a super chat. Mary, was there a super chat? Did I miss the super chat, Mary? Shoot. So I saw her saying thank you. So somebody, Mary, is saying something is happening with the chat. Oh, I did miss one. I can't even see it, Mary. I apologize. Thank you so much, sweetie. Let me go back. Joanna. Thank you, Joanna, for the super chat. I don't know how much it was, but thank you so much, sweetie. We all know that they all have agendas. Joanna Rona for $3.99. Thank you, love goddess. She said, I am going to help my Mary out. Thank you all so much. Thank you, sweetie. I apologize. I was reading. So Aladin goes on and says, I discovered her age when we went for the marriage license and they asked for her passport. That is when I saw her age was in 50s and not 40, as she told me. That's a big ass jump. You think that a filter, Laura, is going to take 10 years off of you? Come on. And because he's young and don't know, but her picture that she catfished him with is a good picture. Now, I mean, this picture used some high-tech catfishing ass software. Let me see if I can pull that damn picture up. I may have to go to Instagram and find that damn picture, y'all. And I think that that's where I'm getting ready to go. So hold on for a second while your auntie pulls this up, okay? Let me pull this up because she got some serious Instagram. Hold on, let me pull up his name real quick. I'm gonna go back to reading. I'm sorry, y'all, but I really want to find this, okay? And I will go back and I will continue to read. But let me find him on Instagram so I can pull up the picture. Now I had the picture up earlier, but for some reason, okay, so let me find him. Damn it. Because I want you all to see this picture of this chick. Because really she does look younger. So I guess I can understand why he would be tricked and bamboozled by her. Because as a man, you're not looking for certain things. As a woman, we look for certain things, but men don't, and they don't even know to look for it. Okay, so let me see if I can find his name on Instagram real quick, because, like I said, someone sent it to me. Okay, so let's pull him up. He is let's see, a Aladinjallali on Instagram. I want y'all to see this mofo pic. And this stream, y'all, gives me the ability to do that. So we're going to see if we can pull up this picture that she had that she sent to him. Okay. So let's just try real fast to see if his page is private, because his page may be private and I may not be able to see it. But bitch, if I can see it, y'all gonna see it. Okay. So we have him up now. I'm gonna share it so that y'all can verify that I am indeed on his Instagram page. So let me share that with y'all real quick, because I don't want nobody to say, Auntie on his scamming. So this is his Instagram page, Aladinjallali. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a deeper dive up in this mofo. And no, the chat is not mute. Mute. Okay, y'all just gonna have to wait for the chat to move. I'm sorry, y'all. I got, I'm concentrating on this real quick. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. It's nothing on my end. Okay, so now let me go. And now we're going to go and take a deeper dive into here. We're going to see whether or not we can pull this video up. Okay. Let me see if this is it right here, where you can see, okay, no, that's something else. He says he's starting his own business. Bitch, let me tell you, ain't nobody coming to your page to see that you starting your own business. We all coming here for the juice. We coming here for the tea. We ain't coming for no other reason but to get the tea. Ain't that right, y'all? So let me see if I could go and find a picture. Okay, let's see. So he has a story here. Read the whole story here. So he's got this bull crap that's jumping up on here. But bitch, we trying we trying to see the story. Okay, so he ain't sharing the story right there. So let me see if I can go out and I can find this for you all, okay? Because we are determined we're going to find this. Now I don't know. Okay, so this one he has 13,000. He has I don't believe 187 Anonymous or any of them have it on them. This mofo right here. Okay. So evidently the story is now gone. Um, hmm. I'm trying to think of how I can find this. I know how I can find this story. I can go to my own Instagram. So let me go to my own Instagram because somebody tagged me in it. I'm hoping y'all liking the capabilities that I got up over that I'm working out over here. Okay. So we're gonna go out here and we're gonna go and see whether or not we can find it on Auntie's channel. Okay. Because you know what? Where there's a will, there's a where it go. No, we're gonna see if Auntie can pull it up on her own. Okay. So let me go down here to my own. Somebody tag me in it. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna find it. I'm determined that I'm gonna find it. And I ain't gonna spend all night trying to find it either, okay? Because somebody tagged your auntie on it. Where's her picture at? Hold on. I think I'm getting close. Nope, that ain't it. I'm hoping that nobody removed it, y'all. And that's why I'm not able to find it. But look, we got all night, okay? We ain't got nothing to do. We got all night. I'm gonna find that sucker. And y'all know we have to do a review on God dang it, where is it? Y'all, I'm gonna find this damn post. Cause somebody tagged me on it today. Cause when they tagged me on it, it was in his. But for some reason it's not showing it. So I can't find it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue reading from sarcasm.net, his story, and then hopefully I'll be able to find it. Okay. So he says the following. The story she told me varied when I asked, okay, no, I went too far down. Okay. So we're going to go back. We're going to back up for all of those people. It's in his comments. Come through, Nancy Drew. Auntie Try Reality T on Instagram. Okay, just one second. Let me finish reading the story because it's a whole lot of y'all out here, and I want to make sure I get the story out, okay? He said, I discovered her age when she went for the marriage license and they asked for her passport. That's when I saw her age was in the 50s and now 40s, as she told me. When confronted, she initially gave me a story about how mistaken her passport had been made. However, when the registrar asked to see her birth certificate, the date was the same. She said the mistake had been in the birth certificate. What the fuck would she lie about a birth certificate for? And that is why it was in the passport as well. I did not believe it, and eventually she admitted the truth. I stayed because I already loved her and thought in the end, if this is the worst thing, I can handle it. I was never supposed to come to America. I knew she did not have a green card and that she only had a temporary status. That is why Liam allegedly was taking care of her in the United States because she was not a citizen. She did not have a green card, so the bitch couldn't work. Okay. Now this is allegedly. Okay. So for all of those people that's wondering why Auntie is this way, this is why this all of this is piling up on her ass. Okay, it's just piling up. So the story she told me varied when I asked. Sometimes she said she was on a work visa, sometimes on a visitor pass. She did have to leave the US. She specifically used the term deported with me. That is why she came to Qatar. I did see that she had a page in her passport that said rejected or denied from the United States. Bitch, this is some hot ass tea, okay? She herself told me that she was twice refused boarding by plane to the United States when we were together. This explains why she's spending all this time in Ecuador with Evelyn's ass because she can't come over here. So how in the hell did she do the tell all? Did TLC get her a special Dawn, I went all the way down, but I ain't see it. I ain't see it. But anyway, um, he says, I saw she had ripped out the page with the denied or refused mentioned later. This might explain why there are photos circulating on incident of her using a temporary green Canadian passport. I myself have not seen this passport. At some point, she expressed a desire for us to move to Canada together. Since living in Canada would make it possible for us to travel back and forth, I agreed. She said she could sponsor me, and I believed her. I sent the money for the sponsorship application and found out this summer that she lied and she never actually submitted it. She used the money and just spent it. She repeatedly lied and said she had and that we were just waiting. Since then, I have learned from an immigration consultant that she could not have sponsored me as she herself was not in Canada. We did submit an application for a visitor's visa early this year, which was denied. I was perfectly happy having her join me in Qatar. I did not use her for money. Let me make that clear. Let me be clear. Bitch, let me clear this up, okay? In October 2017, I began working in Qatar. In January 2018, my sister died, which we know that Laura has confirmed that he lost his sister, okay? I had not saved sufficient money to travel for her funeral. At that time, I was new. They wait more than a month to give the first paycheck, so I had not accumulated much. She helped me by providing a ticket for me to go back to Qatar for my sister's funeral. I believe it was around 400 US dollars. This was one of the things that made me believe she was someone I could trust and love because she peeled off some Benjamins for him. Okay. I have been planning to ask my boss for an advance and repay him when I return, but she said she wanted to do this for me. I accepted her help. On her podcast, Laura lied when she said that I left her after finding out that she lost her permission and could not sponsor me. Why? The amount she was getting was less than I received for my basic salary plus commission. The fact is, I knew months before that she had lied about even sponsoring me, and I told her to just leave it. And that is another reason why she was living permanently in Qatar. The timeline of these two events did not even coincide. Laura exaggerated about helping me with rent. When she came to Qatar in March of 2019, I paid rent for March and April, and she paid for May and June, and I paid July and August. So, yeah, she did pay 2 of the 6 months' rent while there because I spent every penny of my savings and earnings for her ass. However, during all of her stays, I paid for the food, the utilities, bitch, cell phones, car, gas, bought her clothes and shoes, jewelry, bitch, paid for outings as well as our travel, 3-day wedding and honeymoon, plus all expenses in Tunisia as well. At the same time, she did not object to none of this bull. Bull. The money she got from the show was used as she wanted, while I used mine for our wedding. If I had been using her for money, 2 months of rent would not be worth spending 10 times more. She was wasteful with money. She liked to go drink in fancy hotels where a glass of alcohol was the price of a bottle she could have had at home. She told me she was spending money, sending money to Liam, and that she was supporting him financially. From what I read online from her ex, it seems she lied about that too, and that Liam was helping her instead. In her podcast, she said that I kept the wedding money and my money as well as her money from the show. This is a lie. First, yes, the small amount of money I received for the wedding was applied to the wedding as supposed to. That's only made a dent in the total cost. Second, the show pays both of us. Her money was sent to her in her bank account that I never had access to. Mine was sent to me and I used it for all the wedding. Laura loved to be extravagant. She even went and booked hotels to stay in without even telling me while we had a perfectly fine house to stay in. I was careful with money, yes, because we had a budget to stick to in order to make the wedding happen and not have that in our heads. She keeps saying her pension was cut first. He said, bitch, first, not second, first. She keeps saying her pension was cut, but first, Laura told me she retired from her job 5 fucking years ago. Until our separation, I never questioned her much about it or doubted it. She said she had been some. Now, how in the hell she retired at 40? Come on now, Aladin. That was a damn giveaway right there. Okay, I'm over 50 and I ain't retired yet, bitch. And don't plan to retire for like another 5 years. But anyway, I digress. She said she had been some kind of manager in an automotive store. This basically means she would have retired around 45 or 46. After our separation, it came to my attention that the salary of an automotive parts store is not so high, certainly not enough to save to retire at 45. I suppose it could have been possible that she would have been on long-term disability benefits, but that is not retirement. Considering retirement age in Canada is 65, bitch. She was too young for old age pension or Canada pension plan. Okay, he said, bitch, in parentheses, see, pay. It also does not make sense that her employer would pay her a pension for retirement 20 years early. And if she had been on pension, why would it have been cut? Some people have speculated that perhaps she was drawing something called ODSP, which is Ontario Disability Support Program, maybe supplemented by early CPP when someone can no longer work, or Ontario Works, the equivalent to welfare. She has a drinking mofo problem. I am not saying she's an alcoholic, but she cannot handle her alcohol well. When she drinks, she becomes mean, impolite, rude, and violent. I did not like dealing with her in these times. We were on a honeymoon and she would get drunk until passed out, snoring on the bed without even taking her clothes off or washing herself. Oh my God. How embarrassing when my relatives can hear her snoring from other rooms and acting rude. What the is going on with Laura? What's wrong with Laura? So it looks like the video is on sarcasm. So I'll go back. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to see whether or not it's on sarcasm because it looks like the video that he posted with the picture of her is actually Josie, tell Auntie to go to Reddit or Google Laura Day filters pics. It's there. Thank you, Boo. I'm going right now. Okay. What are you saying, Boo? She said go to Google what now? Tell me where to go, Boo, because I want y'all to see this. Go to Google Laura Day filter pics. Thank you, Boo. I'm going right now. Okay, so she said go to Google Laura. Let's see, Boo. Let's see if we can find this pic. Hold on, I'm looking right now, y'all. Because y'all have got to see this pic that she sent to him that he says is the picture that he believes catfished. Okay, so I'm looking here on here and I don't see a filter picture yet. Now I see a whole bunch of filtered pictures of that damn Rebecca, but I don't see Laura's. I don't see it. No, boo, it's not. I'm looking, y'all. Hold on, okay? I'm looking. See if we can find it. Mm-mm. 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 That ain't it, boo. That ain't it. Hold on. Y'all bear with me, okay? Trying to bring y'all this pic because I need y'all to see this pic of this chick. Nope. Let's see. So I'm looking at it a different way now. Um, mm-mm. It's pulling up. It's pulling up the guy, daggone guy, Neve. Okay. Let me look another way. Um, let's check here, okay? I'll use it as a thumbnail. I'll use it as a thumbnail. We'll be done with it, okay? Because I want to finish reading this story so that we can go ahead and talk about it, all right? So let me finish the story. Bitch is crazy. He says the wine event was staged. So they staged the wine event. Remember when we saw them and she was, buying grapes and sugar and yeast? Okay. He's saying that was staged. What actually happened is in 2018, when she lived with me in Qatar, she decided to make wine in the closet without my knowledge. She did something wrong and it exploded in the closet while trying to open it. What the? Hey, so y'all sitting up here wondering why this mofo said you won't change? Laura's an embarrassment. I heard a noise, ran to the room, and found a disgusting smell and all my winter clothes stained with this. I was angry. First, because it is illegal and we could have both been in trouble, me more than her. Second, why hide like a child? Why not ask or tell me that you did it? The producers thought it was hilarious and they decided to go shopping with her to make the wine for the show again. Again, I was upset because this could have gotten us in trouble. Besides, as a foreigner, there are places she could buy for personal use in her home if she needed that badly. Update. Seems that Aladin wasn't done. Here's a lot more. Laura lied about me using her for money. When she stayed with me in 2018 for several months, I incurred all costs for us. This included 3 weeks in Tunisia and 6 weeks in Qatar. She is medicated for mental fucking illness. She is medicated for mental illnesses. She hid this from me. I'm not saying it would have changed my decision to be with her, but she did not give me all the fucking information to choose for myself. This might explain why her behavior changed so much when drinking. I understand many people suffer from mental illnesses, but I also think the right thing to do is to inform your spouse or potential spouse that you're crazy as fuck. Thank you so much, Boo, for the $2.79 super chat. Thank you, Auntie. You're my fave channel. Thank you, Boo. Thank you to all the 1,000 people who are out here tonight watching your auntie. I appreciate that. People and my fellow castmates have said that I am controlling. I am not controlling. I just wanted to make sure she was safe, as any husband would while she is in a foreign country. In Qatar, Laura would regularly just take off with my car and my money, lock the door, and leave me the keys. She would not answer my calls or texts. I had to ask friends to drive me around to find her, and when I did, she was usually in a bar drinking. The bitch was drunk. What the? That's why Liam was laughing. That's why Ludwig could barely open his mouth because they know that this bitch got problems anytime she's sitting up there saying, I feel like I'm a good person. Clutch my mother pearls. On one occasion, when I came to find her, she attacked me, swore at me, and started hitting me with her purse. This is unacceptable for several reasons. First, as an Arab man, I am the head of the household. It does not mean I control her, but I am responsible for her safety. How can I make sure she is safe if she will not tell me where she is? Second, for her to act like this in public is shameful and degrades me as a man. She lied in her podcast when she said it only happened once and that she was gone 15 minutes to a drive through. My friends were witnesses to these events multiple times. Laura complained about me leaving her alone. She said she was lonely and wanted to go out and do things. My married friends and I organized many activities more often than not. She refused to join. My friends have been kind, welcoming, and friendly with her. In Tunisia, yes, I sometimes left for a few hours. It is not always appropriate to bring her with me. For example, if we are 10 guys and just one woman, it is strange. On the event she mentions in her podcast, I said I needed to go out for a haircut and a beard trim. Okay, groom yourself, boo. We do not have set appointments. When you show up, you wait until it's your turn, bitch, like in the hood. When you don't make an appointment with Nate, okay? When you don't make an appointment, bitch, you want to sit in there. Trust me, I know, because when my hair was short and I would fail to do my appointment, I would wait. Bitch, I don't care if it was 2, 3 hours. Them mofos men come up in there and they serious about their hair, they serious about their goatee, they serious about their face. They want their stuff beat to the gods, just like we did, okay? I saw this on Reddit. I don't have Reddit like that. I'm sorry, y'all don't have it. So anyway, let me finish reading. There was a long time. So I had coffee and chat with a friend before returning. She was angry that it took 2 to 3 hours to return home. She left without telling anyone where she was going. People had pity on her, thinking I was keeping her locked up, but it simply isn't true. She could have called and texted me. She didn't. She could have said she could and should have taken my calls, but she didn't. I would gladly have taken, bitch, this a damn novel. I've been reading like hell. I need to tell my daughter to bring me something to drink. Damn. But she did not ask me to and refused to join in our group activities more often than not. I was worried because she was obviously a foreigner. And many people and many bad people could spot her and try to harm her. She said, my uncle, who she says does not speak English, told her that I was out having coffee playing on my phone. If he speaks no English, how would he tell her this? Just another motherfucking lie. The sex issue. Ooh. Let me read to this side for the sex issue. Okay. The sex issue. Many people judge me harshly. First, there were some acts I did not wish to perform on her. Mm. Ooh. Mm. Can we say Daniel 2.0? I will be respectful and simply say this is something a man can decide to do or not to do, depending on his level of comfort with the act and the person. Help me, Jesus. Cleanliness. Bitch, can we all say cleanliness? He said cleanliness is super important to me. Bitch, this is Danielle and Muhammad. Because y'all remember Muhammad was from Tunisia too. He said cleanliness is super important to me. Second, if she had issues with our sex life, she should have come to me personally and discussed it privately. I am a pretty understanding guy, and it is not only important but satisfying to me to know that my partner is also satisfied and fulfilled. You have to understand that I am not from a place where you find sex shops on the street or where people whip out their sex toys on TV. Some matters are and should be private. I believe that. I am the first to admit that as an Arab man, I do have pride and an ego. And both were dealt serious blows on TV in front of millions of people. When I confronted her ass, she said she did not mean it and that it was for the show. She said this is storyline would make us popular. I realized she would do anything to shock people and hopefully get a second season. I refuse to be a part of that bull. I never beat, hit, threatened, or hurt her physically. It is not my style. I respect women, and assaulting a woman will never fix anything. I can't say if the photo was makeup, Photoshop, or what, but I do know that it had nothing to do with me. I did not cheat on her. Laura, as self conscious about her size. Bitch, can we please stop for a moment of silence for this read that this mofo is giving? This bitch is giving a read of a lifetime. Like we done seen some dirty on here, but this bitch right here, this bitch, this is a whole read. Laura is self-conscious about her size and weight, her double chin, and her arms. She projected her insecurities onto others. I accepted her, big chin and all. I offered to train her. Bitch, if this is not Nicole Nail and Ozon, I brought her trainers and then brought new trainers when she said she did not like the first one. I encouraged her to be active, but I also understood her physical limitations and mental ones, according to you. Ooh-wee. I did follow some people and they follow me, such is the game in social media, right? Laura had access to my phone and she herself blocked hundreds of people who paid me compliments or anyone she judged to be thirsty. I was faithful, plain and simple. I am not a one night stand kind of guy. The fact is that she and I have been separated since the end of July, and I have not had sex with anyone since. Boo, I can get you some phone numbers of some people that's right out here in my comment section that are throughout the 3 day wedding. I felt deep down that it was a mistake. Ooh. But it was my last ditch effort to prove my love and hope that she would change. She did not. Now, this what the fucking tell-alls need to be saying. All this stuff that he's sitting out here saying should have been on the tell-all. Thank you for the 1,200 people that are out here. She did not. She only continued to belittle and disrespect me. The honeymoon of her desire for fame at all costs was the proverbial nail in the coffin. I was respectful to Liam's bitch ass, even when he was disrespectful to me. I was happy he came, even though I knew he would give me a hard time, but I wanted her to be happy, and that meant bringing her son. I welcomed him with open arms, arranged to have him visit the Star Wars movie site, made sure the bitch got a camel tooth and some more stuff, okay? Which he decided not to even do. Now, he done set him up for the Star Wars movie site, and he decided he didn't want to do it. Wasted time finding a place for him to go and get a tattoo, which he also decided not to do last minute. Went got him a tux to wear, took him to the hammam to try to clear the air before the wedding instead of spending the day relaxing with my friends. I even gave that bitch some spending money for his return travel, as I was thinking he may not have local money to buy food or drinks in the airport. Apparently, he gave it all to Laura. Bitch. When Laura left, she asked me to give her money, and I did. Even though I knew we were done, I did not want her to be stuck penniless. So I gave her 1,000 reals. She said I did not want to return her stuff. She came from Tunisia to Qatar and had access to all her things before she left. She took my luggage and packed what she wanted. There was little else left. When asked, I refused to see her, but I offered to give her things to someone where she could go collect them. She refused, and I asked her to give me her lawyer's name and address to drop her things off there. She refused that. Finally, she showed arranged. Finally, the show arranged to pick up her stuff, which all fit in a bag. Her things has since all been returned to her. We had filmed previously for the interviews together. They were originally rather positive. After the tell all, she returned to film again alone. And these are the harsher comments she made. I was asked to also film, but declined, even though I could have requested more money from TLC for this. I seemed changed, angry, aggressive, impolite, and hard in the tell-all. Keep in mind that I had everyone gang up on me. Everyone came in with their opinions already made. She came in pretending to be a victim who had no idea why this was happening. I could not believe she would play the victim card when she had manipulated me and everyone else the whole time. I was beside myself and so agitated that I could not even find the words to express myself, let alone defend myself. How could I make them understand that this is what she does? She lies so well that even she begins to believe it. During the live taping, the conversation moved too fast. English is my third language. It takes time for me to absorb, process, and then construct my answers. I was unable to do so on the spot, but unlike one of my classmates, I did not have a translator. I am not blaming anyone for this. I should have anticipated needing one. This is why I have asked someone to help me write down my story clearly. The pregnancy, that was a lie. In Qatar, we went to a fertility specialist. He told us she could no longer have children unless we use someone else's eggs. Bitch, this Angela. Okay, she is all the cast members, bitch, wrapped up into one. All of them wrapped up into one. She's Danielle with the sticky, fishy booty hole that she wanted him to lick. That he said cleanliness is next to godliness on her ass. Okay. And she didn't want to work out like Nicole over in Tunisia. And now the bitch is like Angela. She ain't got but one damn egg, and we about to fry that bitch. I can't with these people. I can't with Laura. He told us she could no longer have children unless we use someone else's eggs. And Angela's daughter said, bitch, I'm not giving up now. Okay. Huh? Okay. Let me not read these comments. She purposely did not tell anyone about this. If the doctor had said she was still fertile, she would have been the first to use the doctor as proof. The doctor told us the best and cheapest place to go to have this done was in Spain. I was disappointed as she had told me she could have children, but I was willing to go along with donor eggs if it meant having children. I have never had sex with a man or performed any acts that were of a sexual nature with a man. I have nothing against gay people, but it's ridiculous to spread bullshit rumors like this to try to discourage other women from being interested in me. She just simply had a stinky booty hole. She said on the podcast that the pregnancy was real, that the timeline was off, and that she only published it to let me know about it because she had no other way to contact me. This is a blatant lie again. She was contacting me through my friends to beg me, threaten me, ask for her stuff, coordinate for the delivery of her things, etc. She was also emailing me throughout this whole time, threatening to ruin me and my friends, even in October. Her behavior since we separated has only reinforced my belief that this was not the right partner for me. Lies about a pregnancy and miscarriage, physical abuse, money, cheating, accusations of me being gay, etc. Keep in mind that she is the one who just went on TV kissing another man while still married and saying that he knows how to satisfy. So it is obvious that there was infidelity. It was on her part, not mine. If there had ever been any hope for a reconciliation post show, it is completely gone now. I am focused on myself for now, and I am excited to announce that I have started my own business. The official launch and details are to come in the next 2 weeks. That was a lot. That was a lot to unpack. That was a lot. Like this mofo dragged her through the mud. Evidently, there was a podcast that was done that your auntie don't know nothing about. Nieces and nephews, y'all know y'all supposed to keep me on point on the game or what's going on out here in these cracks. Ain't nobody tell me about Laura being on no podcast. Yeah. All right, y'all. So I cannot believe that they have put these I can't believe it. I'm speechless. That was a lot to read. It was a lot to unpack. Um, this woman is crazy. He said that she suffers from mental illness. Um, yeah, that was a lot to unpack. That was a lot to unpack. I'm sitting up here trying to gather my thoughts together. Um, that was a lot to unpack. Like, who do you believe? Who do you believe? I knew things were bad, y'all, but I'm telling you right now, I didn't know that things was that bad. I'm thinking, it's a story out there. My nieces and nephews hit me up, but they didn't tell me all this. But he said that this bitch has mental illness. It explained a lot for me. Because remember when I was talking, doing a review, and I was talking about Liam and how Liam was laughing, and I was like, it just seems like it was a impulse that he could not control it, that it was like a nervous laugh. That would explain some of the stuff that's going on with him. But for this bitch to, like this woman got problems deep enough to swim in. Like, how do you lie on your birth certificate? How do you lie and bring paperwork and say that my passport is wrong because my birth certificate is wrong because I'm actually 40 and not 51? But then you get on the show after you convince him to marry you. You get on the show and you tell your real age. You tell us that you retired in Florida and yet and still you living with your son. You want him to get jiggy jiggy and you go and get a massager because he said I'm just not gonna I ain't licking it. I'm not gonna lick it, I ain't gonna smell it. I'm not doing any of that because it's bad enough that I'm redoing this and I'm smelling. Aladin, I don't know if this stuff he's saying is true, but what I have to do now is find that podcast. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be asking for permission so that we can run the podcast. I'll find out uh, I will find out what podcast she was on so that we can get both sides of the story. Because for some reason, I believe everything that Aladin's saying. But I do understand that there's her side, his side, and then the truth. And so we are going to be researching this tomorrow. I'm going to find the podcast. We're going to play the podcast on this channel. Okay. And then we're going to come out and we're going to talk about it. I will be opening up the phone lines. I'm much better with the application, as y'all can see. But we're going to find out what is really going on with Laura. Because Laura's a whole lie. I hate that I can't find a picture, but this woman right here, let me find her. Is this her? This woman right here, a whole lie. She a whole lie. She a whole lie. There's no way in the world that you gonna tell me ain't no way. Ain't no way. But I'm gonna find the podcast. So tomorrow's Friday. We coming out here tomorrow. This is his side. Tomorrow we're gonna come out and we're gonna play the podcast and we're gonna get her side. And then after that, we're gonna get down to. I already did that, Christina Taylor. It did not work for me. You saying say Google 90 Laura catfish, then click images. I'm telling you, it did not. It didn't work. But y'all know what? This is what the tell-all should be doing. The tell-all should be exposing all this stuff. Not sarcasm, not Instagram, not auntie's advice, not any of that. The tell-alls, this is probably wait for the tell-alls. And you know what the thing about it is, sometimes it's a little difficult to not go along with the crowd. And one thing that I can say about myself that I know about me is that I don't follow the crowd. I don't follow what everybody. I don't think the way everyone else does. I knew that Aladin was having a problem with trying to articulate what he was saying. I know how it is to feel ganged up on and to feel like you cannot express yourself, and that the environment that you are expressing yourself in is not safe. Okay, it's full of snakes, pits, and holes. And Aladin was fully aware after a while. He said, I don't care what y'all bitches think about me. And now he's had his opportunity to tell his story his way. But bitch, in closing, we gonna find that podcast. And I'm gonna run this podcast on StreamYard. And we gonna listen to it together. And then we gonna open up the phone lines. Because if this was already not at an hour, I would open these phone lines up tonight because I know y'all got a whole lot to say. But after we review the podcast and we listen to what she has to say, we opening up the phone lines. I'm getting ready to end it now, baby. But thank you so much for the link. Send it to me, okay? Love y'all to pieces. Thank you to everybody who was here, everybody who was super chatted me. If I missed it, I apologize. Please don't count it against my heart. I just ain't that type of person. Okay? I'm not. I love y'all to pieces. Y'all have a great night. Be ready for tomorrow because, bitch, we coming out here with that podcast interview. Bye, y'all.